Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. I'm Bperfect and today I'm going to make my childhood fantasy a reality. As far back as I can remember, I have always wanted to be a vampire. Probably Twilight and Vampire Diaries are to blame for this obsession. Because I was one of those girls. I'm ashamed to admit this. I read all the books, watched all the films, cut my hair like Alice, was Team Edward. Then I grew up and realized I was actually Team Jacob. I'm sorry. That doesn't matter anymore. Because I want to be a vampire. And I've never actually done a vampire look. So I'm gonna do it today. So I got a bunch of stuff, including these FX transfers that apparently you only need water to put them on. So it should be super easy. So today I'm gonna do some moody vampire-esque makeup. And I'm gonna use these for some added special effects. So if you wanna see me turn myself into a vampire, keep on watching. So to start off, I'm gonna actually remember to do my eyebrows first. So I'm gonna go in with the Patrickta shaping wax and I'm just brushing my hairs up. That's the quickest I've done soap brows in my life. My eyebrows were just paying attention to me today. Normally they don't. So next I need to prime and I'm gonna use my Milk Hydro Grip Primer as per usual. I really notice a difference with how long my makeup stays on when I use this primer. Next I need to cover my pores because vampires don't have pores, okay? They just don't. To do that I'm gonna use my Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. Like always, you've seen me use this a bunch of times by now. And I'm just gonna put this everywhere I have larger pores. Which is mainly my T-zone. They're just massive, they're just ginormous. So now that I've got rid of the pores on my face, I need to get rid of the acne, the dark spots, the scarring, the dark circles, everything. It's gotta go. It's gotta go. So to cover up all of my imperfections, which there are plenty, I'm gonna use the Jeffree Star Peach Color Corrector and I'm gonna put this everywhere. Vampires don't have spots, so we're going ham today. I went a bit overboard. I spaced out for a second there. But it doesn't matter because we need a blank canvas. I'm gonna grab my fluffy Real Techniques brush and blend all of this out. We're also gonna ignore this cut up here because I tried to shave my face and I cut myself instead. There's me trying to turn myself into an immortal being and I can't even shave my face without injuring myself. Next I need to go in with some foundation and we are doing a vampire look, so we need to be a little bit pale, even though I'm pale enough already. So I'm gonna go in with the Urbandecay Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation and this is in the shade 40WY. And over that I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the Dior AirFlash and this is in the shade 200. Oh, I missed completely. With my flat kabuki brush from Sigma, I'm gonna dip into the Urbandecay one and just mix those two together. Give myself a nice sickly look. I haven't used these foundations in a while and I forgot how much I like them. So now that I'm sufficiently pale, I'm gonna go in with my Rcma palette and give myself a little bit more dimension. I'm gonna dip into this shade down here, which is a more ashy contour shade because we don't want to add too much warmth to the face because I do want this to look spooky. And now with a stippling brush, this one is from Real Techniques, I'm going to blend this all out. As these shades weren't very warm, they are gonna act more like a shadow rather than adding any warmth to the face because we are vampire and we do not want to look like we've been out in the sun. So now that we've contoured, we're going to go in with some concealer, and I'm going to use the Urbandecay Stay Naked Correcting Concealer, and this is in the shade 20NN. And this is literally the lightest concealer I have. And then with a sponge, I'm going to blend all of this out. And as you can see, it has a lot of coverage. And it's going to take that paleness to the next level. You do have to work a little bit faster with this concealer because it dries down quite quickly. So now that the concealer is all blended out, I'm going to do my eyebrows off camera and I'll be right back. I'm back. My eyes are filled. My eyes are filled. Wow. Wow. I'm back. My brows are done. My lids are primed. So let's get in to some eyeshadow. And I'm going to be using the Mitchell X BeautyBay palette. So the Me, Myself and MMMMITCHELL palette. I really love this one. I've had it for a while and they really killed the packaging with this. It's so pretty. And this palette has such a pretty color story. It's so nice. So first I'm going to dip into the shade Mad, which is a really, really bright red. I'm just going to focus this on my crease. And this is one of the few red shades that I actually like. I'm very picky for red eyeshadow for some reason. So now that I've stamped the color on, I'm going to start blending with whatever's left on the brush. And I'm really bringing this up into my eyebrow so that we can get this looking super, super blown out. Now with another Morphe M456 brush, I'm going to dip into the shade Muse and place that just a tad bit lower and blend into the red. Trust the process. And I will go back in with the red shade and just diffuse those edges even more. When it comes to eyeshadow, it's a lot of going back and forth between colors until you get that nice blend. So now that I'm happy with that blend, I'm going to go into the shade Mafia, and that is the black shade in the palette, and I'm going to really darken up this outer corner. Just make sure to tap off the excess powder on your brush because black fallout is horrible to get rid of. Or just do your eyes first, that always works too. And you always want to build up black slowly. Now for the lid, I'm going to dip into the Tati Beauty palette and I'm going to use the shade Memory, and I'm going to use the Sequence shade just to keep that darkness on the lid but add a little something. Now on a small detailing brush, I'm going to go back into Mad and I'm going to run this along my lower lash line. And then dipping into the shade Muse and keeping that a little closer to the lash line. And now for my inner corner highlight, I'm going to dip into the Jaclyn Hill highlighting palette. I'm going to dip into the shades Iced and Gleam. We might be dead, but we still want highlight. I'm super happy with how this turned out. I'm going to do the other eye off camera and I'll be right back. I'm back, the eyes are done and I threw on some lashes and now it's time to finish off our base. So I'm going to go ahead and set my face with the Fenty Pro Filter powder, and this is in the shade Butter. This is much lighter than the powder I would normally use, but we are going for that pale look. So now we need a little bit more dimension in the face, so I'm going to bronze up the face, but I'm going to be using the Carnival palette and I'm going to use the shades Fade and Vex just to give me a more spooky bronzed look. And this is just going to give a much more hollowed out look. It'll look a little bit sunken in. . Now I'm gonna go in with some highlighter, and I'm gonna use the Jaclyn Hill highlighting palette again. And as a vampire, I think I would be super shiny, and that is completely influenced by Twilight. I was half tempted to put glitter all over my face, but I'm not gonna go that far. So now that our base is done, I think we should go ahead and try putting on our FX transfers. Let's see how this goes. There's a lot of instructions. Open your FX transfer. Okay, we gotta open this up first. Now what do I have to do next? Peel plastic with FX from transfer paper. Got it. So I've put them on the transfer paper, I think. And I think I'm gonna go for the bigger ones. So we're gonna cut these out. What's next? Peel plastic from the back of FX. Place exposed backside of FX onto skin and press firmly. Then wet the transfer paper with water, wait 30 seconds and peel off transfer paper. Should be easy enough. Let's give it a go. And now we've just got to wet this. And now we're going to wait 30 seconds. Okay. Go. So we're just gonna peel this off. Not bad. It's actually quite good. It's stuck on there, and I didn't have to go through the hell of trying to do it myself with scar wax. So I am very pleasantly surprised. I'm gonna go over it slightly with a little bit of foundation just to make it the same color, more or less, even though it's quite transparent. I know my way around scar wax, and this would have taken you a good while with that, and it's literally taken me 10 minutes to apply. So if you're new to special effects, this is a super easy and cheap way to go about doing it. I'm gonna go over it with my setting powder. The edges could have been a little bit better, but I'm feeling a little bit lazy today, so I don't want to try and fix them. So now, just to make it a little bit more realistic, I'm gonna go in with my Mehron face paints, and I'm gonna darken up the inside of the bite to make it look a little bit more gory. And these are water activated paints, so you just gotta dip your brush in a little bit of water and then you can go right in. So now dipping into the Carnival palette again and taking the shade Fade, and I'm just gonna shade around them. So I've wet this brush a little bit, and I'm gonna dip into the face painting palette again, into the red shade, and just tap around the edges to make them look a little bit red and irritated. So now that that's looking a little bit more realistic, the last thing we have to do is add a little bit of blood. But before we do that, because that gets really messy really quickly, I'm gonna finish my lips. I wanna put on black lipstick, but I think we need a pop of red also, so like a little ombre effect. For the black, I'm gonna go in with the Jeffree Star Velour liquid lipstick in the shade Weirdo. For the red, I'm gonna use the Fenty lip stain in the shade Uncensored. Okay, now that's done, I'm gonna pop in the red. The makeup is officially complete, so I need to set it all in place before I add any other blood, and I'm going to be using the Urbandecay All Nighter Setting Spray. Finally, the last step we have to do is add some blood, and I have some coagulated blood gel from Mehron, and she's thick. I'm just going to go in with a small brush and pick some up and make this look fresh. I'm gonna add a little bit more blood and a couple extra details, and I'll be right back with the finished look. I am so happy right now. I love it. I am beyond happy with how this turned out. Besides the point that I cannot talk properly with these teeth in, but I love them. I love my teeth. I'm gonna take them off now. I really don't want to. I popped on some contacts so I looked like a newborn. The contacts really finished this look off along with the teeth, but sadly I can't talk with those on. Everything that I used today, including the contacts, the teeth, the special effects, will all be listed down below. I really feel like I lived my vampire fantasy, and I'm really happy about it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to follow me on my Instagram, where I post a lot more than I do over here. If you liked this video, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Wait, this don't feel right. Bye. Is there a way I can get bangs permanently? I'm gonna have to talk to my dentist.
Jeremy, can you come a second?
I just want to say one thing to you. I want to suck your blood. I want to say that one thing. That's it. Fantasy complete. I think I lost my nugget a while ago.